All right, everybody, welcome into Talladega. It's playoff time. I'm James Riles. With me in the booth is Liam. Liam, how are we doing today, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Talladega is one of the most chaotic tracks on the circuit. It's one of the most exciting. It's the widest. It's the fastest. It's the longest. It's going to be a great show by these Sunday night NASCAR drivers.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I know I'm excited. I know that I am just ready to rock this thing, man. I am super stoked on it. This has huge implications for all of it. There's a lot of things that go into this race. We got a playoff battle. We have some non-playoff drivers trying to fight for some spots, so it should be a really good one. As I'm gonna make sure something is good here as we go into our race information. Have that up there as we're watching Cody Strom take his pace laps or his qualifying laps. Only about 20 seconds left. He's got to hurry as we're going to get some in here. SDK is just taking a poop. Well, go ahead and run us through the playoffs. We'll do that. As we got, I think, Joe Stafford currently running first. Austin Story. There we go. Now she's here. There we go.
Yeah, I see here now we've got obviously the 2.66 miles we mentioned before. Right now, air temperature sitting at 101 degrees. So that's going to be or track temperature rather. That might make things a little bit slick. 74-degree air temp, clear skies, a little bit of breeze, but not too much of a crosswind. So that shouldn't cause too much of a factor in the pack here.
Yeah, and we're also running that low horsepower, low downforce package. So a lot of stuff to go on here. A lot of things going on going into this race that's going to affect the drafting. Is going to be ridiculous. A lot of things here to go wrong as we're going to go off our playoff standings a little bit later. But just to run through the top 10 in our grid real quick, we got Devin Medeiros, Josh Ward, Ryan Samuelson, Jarrett Phillips, Lauren Jones starting 5th. 6th is going to be Austin Story. 7th, Joseph Lester, Barrett Copy. And 8th, row 10 is going to be Nicholas Breidenbach, Robert Esther. Going to go as far as we can go here, I guess. We got row 6, Chris Claude on the inside of Matthew Gaskins. Chad Sander there in 13th. 14th is going to be Randy Spivey, another playoff driver. Row 8 is going to be David Love, Steve Dardarius. Row 9, Thomas Neal, Charles Eaton. Row 10, Joe Stafford and Dave Regal on his outside. CB Cornez is going to start out row 11th with Kevin Rourke on his outside. Ryan Tarnowski is going to be inside of Benjamin Hart. Derek Jones in 25th. Or Derek Jacobs, I'm sorry, in 26th. Jeff O'Rourke. 27th, Warren Young. 28th, Tony Burt. 29th, RJ Root. John Espewalda Jr. there in 30th. And riding shotgun here, bringing up the field, is going to be John Espewalda III and Cody Strom. But also something special going on here. We're watching RJ Root. Unfortunately, just lost his grandfather last week. He's going to be leading a 3-wide salute for you fans for his grandfather. Hope it's affected us all, guys. And going to be very missed. Buddy, Wallclimber Green. So this is dedicated to him. We're going to do a 3-wide salute for himself and also like all the truckers and the people in the industry. Very, very appreciative of them as you guys are watching. There we go. Going to get formed up for that 3-wide salute.
Yeah, it's obviously a tough moment for RJ Root. A tough time for him, but I think it's so cool to see how the league is coming together and to show their support for him in a tough time. It's good to know that we can all come together through tough times and show support for those around us, and that it's going to help us get through. So shout out to the league for doing such a beautiful tribute like this. And well, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and watch.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to let him, you see that 3 right there. Perfect view there on the number 3 car of RJ Root. We're going to let him come across the line once everybody gets formed up. Go ahead and take a moment of silence for all the victims that COVID has caused, and of course, for RJ Root's Mr. Buddy Green.
As we see RJ Root drop down to the bottom, the rest of the field is going to look to take their positions back. Nope, we're going to stay 3 wide. My apologies.
All right, folks, as we're coming back, again, we appreciate you staying with us and participating in that moment of silence for RJ Root's grandfather. But teammate coming up there, giving him a bump, letting him know, hey, we're here for you, man. We're gonna get this thing started pretty soon. Everybody's gonna form back up. We're gonna watch RJ go back to his position at the rear of the field.
Yeah, it's definitely a touching moment there. I just thought that was beautiful seeing everybody all grouped up together and showing support. Now we're going to see Devin Medeiros pull back up to the pace car. These guys form back up double file. The lights are off, so we are going to get going this time here. There will be 91 laps of green flag racing to go at this point. Like we said before, a lot of playoff implications. We mentioned RJ Root. He's starting towards the back. He obviously won at Daytona in the regular season finale, so we know he's going to be strong here. I believe Joseph Lesser was also strong in that race, and yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun to see how these runs form up. I would expect them to kind of single file out early, but you never know with these guys. You get a good run, it could happen. At 63 on the outside, that's another guy I know ran strong at Daytona and was able to make that outside work. The Cheetos car, Lauren Jones, obviously could as well, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, folks, as we've got playoff racing coming your way from Talladega, the real world race taking a rain delay. So you guys get a preview here, what it's going to look like, what we're going to see as we come across here to the no walls Talladega 3 and 4. It just comes off the end of the world, folks. We're going to get rolling here. Devin Medeiros is going to bring us around. Josh Ward on his outside. We are excited to bring you this Davis Brothers Roofing 250 at Talladega Motor Speedway. Gonna hit
and
that.
Of course,
go ahead.
one of the longest waits for the green flag in the series right now. I mean, the pace car's gone in. You're expecting the box now, but you've got to go all the way through the tri-oval. As just mentioned 1,000 times, the finish line further down than it is in a normal tri-oval.
Definitely. I got some information on that, by the way. So I got some to talk about later as we're going to get rolling here. Hitting that restart zone. Devin Medeiros going to get him through the gears. He's going to get rolling. Everybody behind him doing a good job. Everybody going to line up, I'm sure. RJ Root already moving up through the field in the rear. As everybody is being polite so far. Barrett Coffee working on Austin Story there in the middle of the pack.
A couple of them still up top trying to get something going. Josh Ward's going to fall down into second place. Going to give the space down to the car behind him as well. So the next side-by-side battle is back at about 8th place, as most everyone has gotten down to the bottom side just to probably try to run some laps for now and get this thing moving.
Yeah, trying to get this thing moving. And a lot of people in the back trying to think, hey, I'm just trying to stay safe here, as everybody within just about a second up to 16th. As we're going to see this, how much side drafting is going to matter. This added spoiler, extra splitter, and they took 100 horsepower off these things from when Joey Logano took his ride up into the catch fence. So now they kind of hammered it down and made this thing more of a drag. Literally, as we're seeing right now, they're running close to 200 miles an hour. These things are still quick at Talladega. The longest speedway at NASCAR visits is that 2.66 mile race. We've got 94 laps left. Lap 2 of 194. We're going to go ahead and run through our playoff standings. You can see right there, everybody. Joe Stafford, currently running 18th.
Our regular season champion there. He's just biding his time right now in front of Steve Cornez behind Thomas Neal there. See RJ Root trying to make a little bit of movement there on the outside with Warren Young behind him, side by side there with the 5. Brian Tarnowski trying to get around him.
Yeah,
a little bit of a wiggle there on the inside lane we saw, but
yeah, when you force these cars down so far, it goes a long way. So remember, we are live Facebook and YouTube. You can shout out your drivers who you're looking at seeing, who you want to do well. We definitely want to hear from you. We're going to go and check on Ryan Samuelson, playoff driver. Austin Story, currently sitting 6th. 8, we got Barrett Coffee. Nicholas Breidenbach, currently sitting 10th. Chris Claude, got to make 1 point for the playoff. He's got to get by Kevin Rourke, which is going to be hard to do, but currently Kevin's sitting 24th. Got to keep the car clean, man. Got to keep the car clean here if you want to advance to the next round. See Randy Spivey sitting 15th. Talked about Joe Stafford, Seba Cornez, and of course RJ Root. And rounding out the playoff drivers, there's the 99 of Kevin Rourke. So once this race spaces out, Kevin has got to be knowing that he's got to get moving. He's got to get by Chris Claude at the least. Everybody else working on their points as we go back up front. Nothing really happening of note here.
Yeah, we're just putting down some laps here, kind of. I keep saying biding our time here. I mean, we're 5 laps into this race. We know it's more than likely going to be a 2-stopper, and I mean, we're single file right now, but once something gets jammed up there on the inside, somebody's going to want to poke their nose out and try to make something happen.
Yeah, definitely. With this package, I see a lot of checkup happening, honestly, with these cars. A lot of people, if you've been practicing officials all week, you know, but should be interesting to see how it affects the side-by-side and the drafting, because we haven't seen this in real life. We don't have the benefit of that yet.
No, we don't. Daytona's obviously a little bit different track. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter. You might set up the car a bit more for handling, but this track is wider. It's banked more. You've got these sweeping corners. You don't really have to set the car up for handling or for your tires to slide around more. So kind of makes it more straightforward from the start. You kind of know a little bit more about what you're dealing with.
Yeah, definitely. As we go on board the back of Devin Medeiros here, you kind of see.
I love this camera angle. Look at how close he's getting to the back bumper here. He's not touching here. You've got a little bit of a bubble here between these cars. If you can, as you see, it slides up a little bit. But Josh Ward running right up near the bumper of the leader.
You got to do what he can there. And that bubble, it's so hard to get a bump draft, and that's kind of the cause of this package is they don't want to get those bump drafts if they can avoid it. But you see that Outkast Sim Paints there on that tailgate. That is one of the sponsors here at Sunday Night NASCAR, as well as Davis Brothers Roofing, Buttkicker, Timeless Designs, and Inville Insurance Group, to name a few. They're stacked here, always looking for drivers in their truck and Xfinity Series, so go ahead and give them a check. And also Major's Garage, supplying some setup help for these guys, those that need it. Good way to get out there and have an opportunity to make sure you're not going to blow up your car. That's something you have to worry about here. Open setup, no fixed repairs. So these guys really have to be careful and make sure they don't overheat that engine. I should say this. Let's go on board with Josh Ward. New iRacing update. Liam, I don't know if you've seen this, but we can see everything in the trucks. I guess it has not transferred over to the NASCAR yet. My disappointment is palpable.
Oh, you're talking about gauges. Yeah, I can see RPMs, but yeah, unfortunately, nothing translating for temps yet, so we can't get that inside telemetry just yet for you. Might have to wait on the next iRacing update, but that's all right. That's another thing I didn't even think about with the open setups is that heating up or potentially having a little bit more you can work with. Some of these guys might have put too much tape on to start. Some of these guys might not have put on enough. So, I mean, there are a couple adjustments you can make in the pits to try to make your car draft a little bit better, try to reduce some of that drag. But it's not going to do much if you get out shuffled out of the pack. You're going to see here once these guys start playing a little rougher that when you get shuffled out, you're not anywhere near as fast as the rest of these guys. You can lose 10 to 15 miles an hour outside of the draft here. So very important to stay tucked up behind somebody and reduce the drag as much as you possibly can. But like James said, you don't want to overheat that engine. You want to keep an eye on those temps and make sure you can finish the race.
Yeah, that's huge here. You're not recovering from a wreck at Daytona. It's going to be hard pressed. You get engine power down, you ruin the whole line. It's not a good look, as we see Ryan Samuelson currently leading the playoff drivers in a really good position to do so. Austin Story, the real not shocker, but the one that stands the most to gain here is Chris Claude. Chris currently running one position behind the cutoff line, so he's got it here. If the race ended today, if we had some rain, it would end with him in the playoffs. For now, we got one more race. We got the Charlotte Roval. You can't leave that out as much as we want to. And then we got RJ Root in the back. He's a lot safer, but definitely still you got to stay safe. If you're RJ Root or you're Ryan Samuelson, Joe Stafford, you cannot afford to total out of this race and lose that massive points upgrade there.
Yeah, the absolute worst thing that you want to do is be anywhere near the cut line going into the Roval. Whether you're a good road racer or not, I think that's going to be... I mean, it's just such a unique course. It's going to be chaotic. We've seen it in the Cup Series, and, you know, you get down to the end, if you get a couple green-white checkers, guys trying to make up more spots. It's not a place you want to be trying to fight for your playoff hopes. Not that Talladega is, but if you can come out of Talladega with a good cushion, I mean,
yeah,
I personally don't like the Roval.
Well, you know, the Roval's a fun track. I like it if I have time. If I'm on something slow like a Skippy, I can enjoy the heck out of it.
Or a Mazda.
Yeah, or a Mazda, you're right. But these Cup cars and the way these leagues run, ladies and gentlemen, what they'll do is they'll go into the Roval and they will run it no cautions, local cautions only, just to speed things up. And it just comes down to pure skill. You've got to keep the car straight, clean, consistent, because if you spin out, you're not going to get any help.
Yeah, these guys are...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, these guys are insanely talented being able to go there and run these Cup cars, these high-powered Cup cars. They'll be having that low downforce package, too. So those things will be sliding around a lot. These guys will be pushed to their limits, and that's a limit that I personally could not hit.
Definitely. Now, guys, I will remind you, we are live on Facebook, YouTube. We are interactive. So if you're looking for somebody to win, whether it's a Ryan Samuelson, RJ Root, Joe Stafford, heck, even Bennett Allen came in here last week and won, non-playoff driver, won at Las Vegas and took away a spot that is very beneficial to these guys. If you win, you're locked into the next round. But if you're a non-playoff driver and you win, that's just what, you know, you take that spot. Yeah, you bring home the trophy and you kind of heat the race up for everybody else because nobody gets to come into Talladega safe. Not a single person. Even Joe Stafford finished second last week. He is not safe on points. Still got to work on that and race as hard as he can here as we're going to go back up front.
Still not much has changed throughout the course of the top five. Devin Medeiros, Josh Ward, Jarrett Phillips, Ryan Samuelson, and Lauren Jones rounding out that top five. Austin Story sitting there in sixth. Another playoff driver, Joseph Lester, Barrett Coffey, Bob Nestor, and Nicholas Breidenbach rounding out our top 10 here. Still single file for the most part after 13 green flag laps. We've got probably halfway through the run almost here. If I had to guess, I'd say you probably could make it about 30 laps, but I guess I'm not sure what the fuel load is going into the race, so that could make it a three-stopper. No, Daytona was a two-stopper, right around 26 to 28 is when most guys were putting in their sequence.
I believe it's a 40 to 45 is the real-life equivalent, so probably 80% or 70%. I bet we're looking at a 30 or 35 lap run. And you got to get in safe. We'll see if anybody is content running back there. If anybody's heating up, you'll see him pop out. You see Jarrett Phillips right there. Might get some air on that radiator.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Ward moved down just a little bit to try to help him out a little bit. If not, maybe to get a little air on his nose. He's been right up on the rear bumper of Devin Medeiros throughout the whole race so far. Looking at Chris Claude right there. It's got a little bit of a gap between him and some other cars. I'm sure that makes him feel all right now, sitting here lap 15, coming to lap 16 out of 94. I mean, we've still got 80 laps to go, 79 laps to go here.
Yes, we do. This seems like a good time to go to commercial break. You're not going to miss a thing, guys. We're going to go to side-by-side. Watch some of the sponsors that come and support you guys. And while we talk about it, I got a shout-out. Let's go 45. Damon Lester says, let's go, Joseph. Get that thing rolling. Well, shout out to you, Damon. We appreciate you watching and always helping out the league. But, guys, keep it side by side, and we'll be right back.
You know that guy? The one who, just minutes before the green flag, keys up his mic and asks, "Anybody got a setup?" Well, this is him. This is Adam. And Adam needs some help. This, on the other hand, is Steve. Steve is a solid racer, and he knows his way around the garage. Steve's problem is time. With a job and a family, he can't find enough time to build competitive setups and to race as often as he likes. But Steve knows a secret. Steve lets our crew chiefs do the setup work so he can focus on the racing. At majorsgarage.com, Steve can get setups for over 50 cars on the iRacing service, so no matter what series he wants to jump into, he is covered. Somebody really should tell Adam.
Hey guys, Will Canterbury from Enville Insurance Group. Thank you so much for coming to our website. We are your one-stop shop for anything insurance, homes, autos, boats, motorcycles, renter's insurance, life insurance. If you are a business owner or you're a decision maker for a business, we are commercial insurance experts. Not only that, we are independent, which means we have most any carrier that you can think of. We can shop that for you, so you don't have to waste your time to talk to 5 or 6 different agents to get 5 or 6 different quotes to make sure that you are getting the best options. We can do all that for you. So give us a call, 615-505-1011, and we will be more than happy to help. We're Enville Insurance Group, located in Middle Tennessee. Give us a shout.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D cinemas powered by Buttkicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Buttkicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Buttkicker and feel what you've been missing.
All right, folks, we are back. We appreciate you sticking around. Being those ad breaks from Major's Garage, like I said, they can get you some good, do some good setups and sponsor your league. You can reach out to them. They sponsor this league. You get out there, you can use get yourself a reference code and also get some free setups for your league, which is awesome. If you can go in, you can tell them, hey, we need a tighter setup for such and such. Really help fix those setups up for your fixed league. And also, if you're just a driver, you can go in there and, like they said, go get you some free setups for these road courses or these ovals that you run, and you can tweak them to your desire. You can also pay for a subscription and get personalized coaching and help with your setups, as well as a cheat sheet and some other really cool stuff that they do over there at Major's Garage. We appreciate them.
I mentioned I suck at the oval, but I'm sure I could run it on a Major's Garage setup.
Oh yeah, these cars, if you tell them, hey, hey, I'm loose here, what can we do? And they're really quick to get with you and say, hey, this is what you need to do to get a little bit tighter. I know the short courses, Bristol, some of those setups on these non-famous cars are so tight and real easy to lose them. So you gotta be careful of those. We've got 2 distinct groups forming right now. Devin Medeiros leading the first group. Nicholas Breidenbach leading the second.
About a second and a half maybe between Bob Nestor and Nicholas Breidenbach here. About an 8-car pack and a 6-car pack now. Maybe 9 cars in that lead pack. So things starting to split up here a little bit. Potentially guys getting in within 10 laps who wanted to make a pit stop, trying to maybe not come in so congested, but showing a couple of distinct packs here.
Yeah,
behind
definitely.
Those guys, we've got about 2 more seconds to Joe Stafford, being pushed by RJ Root. Another 5 cars here. So I know they got side by side a little bit in the back during commercial. I'm not sure if that totally separated the packs or what, but I'm sure that had something to do with it now. I mean, it's definitely tough to gain time on the cars in front of you here when you're side by side utilizing that side draft. Oh, we do have pit stops very earlier than I expected. That's probably making this a 3-stopper. Everybody's on the brakes hard, trying not to speed coming into the pits here.
Oh, as we got one sliding in.
Spin, the 28 car slides in. He's going to probably make it safely onto pit road. I don't think he was speeding, but the car behind him more than likely was. It looked like he's... that's the 26 of Cody Strom. He might have gotten into the grass there on pit entry. So we'll keep an eye out for potentially any penalties.
As Lauren Jones and Barracovi, and it's interesting to see these guys working and see these guys come in together, because it is hard to work together because there's no teams here. There are teams, I'm sorry, but there's no manufacturer groups that get together and say, hey, all the Chevys are pitting now, or everybody is coming down in the Toyota group. It's just your teammates, and you got to keep your eyes on who's in front of you. As we got another group coming down pit road, 3 wide. It's going to be David Love, Steve Bawalda, and Barrett Coffey. Oh, as we got a wreck down pit lane. Thomas Neal kind of missing the box. Some hiccup there down pit lane. That's not good. Jeff O'Rourke, I think, involved in that one.
Will cost some serious time there.
See if we can
7 sideways into his box.
Oh, just trying to make it to his box and unable to. Got to come in on the right side. It's so hard under green to organize those stops.
Yeah, it's a tough deal for the 48 there. You see damage on the left front there of Jeff O'Rourke. He's got to hope that doesn't do too much to his aero, because just a little bit of damage can really, really hurt you if you're leading a pack.
Definitely, as everybody has cycled through, this seems to be the play. We're going to go. These guys are leading. We're going to throw up our track map. Chad Sanders going to inherit it once he comes around. You can come out with about 1 pit road, or about 1, just right at however long it takes to get by. You just got to get up to speed, as Chad Sanders is going to come back and take care of a penalty, I believe. Charles Eaton. Well, so Joe Stafford, your leader. We'll see if he can get out in front.
We got a problem on the front straightaway. I saw a pink car was sideways. Not 100% sure if that was just let me try to go and see what I saw. Looks like Brian Tarnowski had a little hiccup coming up off the pits. Maybe got on the gas too hard. Yeah, I'm seeing got on the gas too hard, slid up the track and gassed it up, or slammed on the brakes to try to get off the track, and that was sketchy with the entire pack coming here. I'm just looking at that one on my own there. I apologize for.
See if I can find it. That was you said Thomas. Who was it? Brian Tarnowski.
Yep, just coming up off the pits that last time around. Might be a little before that.
Oh, got right up on that apron. Tried to make it.
No, it was near the front straightaway on the finish line. It was literally coming right up off pit lane. He gassed it up on pit exit, and it just kind of hooked right on him. Lap 25. So you can see the smoke there. He's coming back up on the track. This was a really sketchy moment, too, with the entire pack coming right there.
There we go. We're going to see it. Oh, very unfortunate. I guess very fortunate that he was able to keep everybody and get back in the middle of it with that breast cancer awareness thing. So we got Austin Story is now your leader, folks. Behind him, we got Joseph Lester, Joe Stafford cycling through, having a fantastic pit stop. Coming in, he's 16 positions up right now. The only person that's beating him in the position game is RJ Root, who's up 19 positions. But that has strung out the field here at Talladega. Everybody trying to make their pit stops similar fashion, unable to do so. But unfortunately, Steve Dardarius is now a lap down, trying to get his lap back there. So the quick way had a snafu down pit road. I think he was one of those that came in sideways and got squirrely. But playoff implications are huge there for Steve.
I'm going to get clear of the slower car here. And
Back up
to the
front
lead
now.
pack. Yeah, we got about 10 cars here within a second of the draft here, and then the next pack is about 5 or so seconds back. So pit stops have definitely spread out this pack, and now it comes down to a strategy deal. With the cars being this spread out and everybody kind of working single file, you start to wonder if there's a possibility of this race going caution-free. Talladega is a wild track to think of a caution-free race, but it has happened in the Cup Series. It's happened before. It's very possible here, and you know, when strategies get strung out and you find yourself with less people to work with, less people to work against, it really changes the way you attack this race. So you see these guys working by a couple of lappers here.
Yeah, definitely. It's a group in front of them needs to get organized. If they can, they've got a chance to stay in front of the leaders. The leaders might try and go high. But yeah, like you said, once everybody gets strung out, if everybody is good with their positioning, Chris Claude now sitting in back behind Kevin O'Rourke, he needs to get above him as we're going to go up to this stack. People are going to start fighting. People are going to start realizing they have to work together, and some people realizing they have to get by. You know, playoff implications. I say it all day. It's huge here. Because we got 2 lines forming now. This outside group, we're going to see if anybody from the bottom tries to go up and help them out. Roll the dice. I don't see it happening as they're very much slower. That's Jeff O'Rourke, Derek Jacobs, and Steve Dardarius going a lap down.
Yeah, but these lappers getting side by side, even
Oh!
wide here with the leaders. That's going to get dicey. So you see coming up off of turn 4, almost a 3-wide moment there, and Chad Sander backed out of it just a little bit to try to keep it safe going through there. Look at these guys bouncing around through the tri-oval. These cars are light through there. We talk about how much downforce they have. These giant splitters, these giant spoilers. These cars are insanely light through the tri-oval. That's the least banking, so you've got the least amount of downforce compared to anywhere else on the track. As you see these guys zigzagging and snaking around the back straightaway. So, I mean, if anybody gets onto your rear bumper or even gets close enough to bump you, that could really, really throw you for a loop.
Yeah, definitely. Anything to upset that aero in these cars. Aero is going to be huge for these guys. As Austin Story has gotten past those lap cars, no issues at all for him and Joseph Lester, Joe Stafford. I believe a couple of teammates in there. That's going to be, let me get my notes out in front of me. Oh, Joe Stafford just went to field filler, if I remember correctly. But I think right now we got Joseph Lester and Austin Story, both teammates, talking with each other, saying, hey, this is what we're doing. Very important to have teammates in your ear here. In your ear and like I said, to the rear as we're moving on along here, lap 33 of 94 in the Davis Brothers Roofing 250.
Yeah, and James, you mentioned before, you don't have those OEM partnerships like you do in NASCAR. I mean, you don't have your manufacturer telling you who to work with, who to pit with. So the only friends you have are your teammates or anybody else that you could potentially talk to before the race. And the only issue with that is there's no guarantee you're going to be around them at any point. So teammates are very important to have working with you, especially to be able to be nose to tail like this. It really, I mean, not much can make you feel great about racing here at Talladega, but it's got to make you feel a little bit better than if you were running all by yourself.
Definitely.
So you see Austin Story's going to move up here, give the lead to Joseph Lester. Lester potentially getting hot. A nice swap there. Stafford's going to allow them to get back in. So a switch for the lead here. Joseph Lester now takes the lead spot, and Austin Story slotted back in behind him.
Yeah, so
we
this
just
group,
mentioned how teammates are.
oh yeah, so important here. I guess we got RJ Root there in the middle of the field, but back behind him, the second group of Barrett Coffey, Seba Cornez, Robert Nestor, and David Love trying to work together to get up to the leaders. About 9 or 10 seconds back, just not as good pit stops. As we're seeing the leaders, pit stops in the 40s, 41. I see 142, but these guys behind him, 45 seconds. So a little bit slower going around. Of course, we got Kevin Rourke. He's working with the lap car there. At number 8 of Warren Young and Chris Claude back behind him. These guys just biding their time, waiting for it to get dicey up front as they have no intention of doing so. Everybody working together, everybody in it to win it is Austin Story. You got to think Joseph Lester if it comes down to it, is going to kind of check up for Austin if he has to. Do not want to wreck a teammate out of the playoffs here, as Austin doing really well in the playoffs. Got to make it to the end of the race. We said it all day. It's going to be so important, folks. Well, of course, we appreciate the heck out of you watching. A couple of our sponsor shout-outs. We got Outkast Sim Paints coming on board, doing some fantastic jobs. If you want to get them on Facebook and get in contact with RJ Root. Does an amazing job painting these cars. We got Buttkicker. Buttkicker, you saw a commercial. Don't use that code. I don't know why it's up there, but I have one. I love it. I put it on my rig just recently. I reinstalled a newer upgrade, and it is crazy. Really can feel your tires getting out from under you. Mess with some settings in iRacing SimLab apps, and you can get this thing freaking rolling really well. And of course, Major's Garage, we appreciate them. We talked about them a little earlier. Just doing a fantastic job keeping up with these guys.
As you see it, catching up on another lapper here. This guy's all by himself, so it'll be interesting to see where he's going to stay low. The rest of the pack's going to move out, and I wonder if this is going to shuffle anything, if anybody's going to try to take a chance to dive down below anybody else. You see the 57 kind of looking, but didn't quite have anything there. Yeah, a lot of guys snaking out to the outside to try to get around this lap car, but now he's going to have the draft. He might be able to stay in this pack a little bit. As you see, the other lap cars that they passed a little while ago have stuck around in this pack, making it about a 15-car pack. 10 of which are lead lap positions, and then 5 maybe racing for the lucky dog here. See, the rewind towards the back of that. Nicholas Breidenbach in the middle. He does not want to be there. We mentioned how far, or just how important the draft is. Breidenbach just fell all the way to the back of that pack after running about the middle of it in half a straightaway.
Yeah, definitely the lap cars trying to get in a position to put themselves in the lucky dogs. Currently, Bennett Allen holds that position. He got down, we saw earlier, he got down real low, trying to get in that lead pack. He knows that's where the advantage is going to be. But behind him, Derek Jacobs, Charles Eaton, and Steve Dardarius. Those are the last ones that want to see a caution comes out. I guess the first ones, but they're the ones that would benefit the most, I guess is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
As we are running to lap 40 of 94, once we get everything through, as everybody's kind of gotten back in and kind of accepted their plot in life. But look at Bennett Allen and Derek Jacobs. These guys are within a car length of each other. You got to think the second that something opens up on top, Derek Jacobs is going to be involved in it, trying to get up past the other lucky dog there, as it could be so important to get your lap back that way.
Yeah. We've got 2 races going on in this lead pack now. Obviously, the race for the lucky dog, the race for the lead, and that's make you a little uncomfortable if you're out here racing for the lead here, and you know an important race is going on behind you.
Yeah, just trying to get in there, and if anyone takes the top, they've got to take her. They have to know that Thomas Neal is going to try and get up there. Or I'm sorry, Derek Jacobs is going to try and get up there and get some positions, some cheap positions if he can. But how long does that support last? If you go up there, it's going to come down to how do you trust your group, or do you just drop in his line and push him all the way back? As we are fighting here, but I want to take a second, just focus on Joe Stafford. Joe Stafford currently running 3rd. That P in front of his name is just to tell you who the playoff drivers are. I don't think I mentioned that. But just telling you, Joe Stafford won 4 races this year, I believe. Get on here quickly.
Yeah, he's got 4 wins this year.
Yeah, 4 wins, but the points is where it's at. Raymond Root had 7 wins, 7-time winner, the most in Essendon history, I believe. But Joe Stafford has 29 starts and 24 top 10s, the most of any other driver. He also has 19 top 5s, which is why he was the regular season championship, currently sitting at 3,069 points with those, it resets after the playoffs, but just a fantastic job by Joe Stafford to come in here, and shout out to him for running clean all season. If a guy knows how to get out of accidents, that's the guy. He is a fantastic racer in that 57 machine.
And I think he could actually lock his way in the Roval or he could lock his way in today on points if he finishes well enough and the cut line stays towards the mid pack. He's right around that 40-point mark right now. I think it's 37. So a couple extra spots, and he could point his way in before the Roval here as we catch up to another lap car here, the 72.
Yeah, definitely wants to point. He wants to win his way in, but so does everybody else. But if we talk about guys who have a chance at the Roval, Joe Stafford's up there. As long as we don't more than a couple ringers, Joe Stafford can wheel this thing around oval just as well as he can the Roval. As we saw a couple of his wins coming from, definitely a lot of his top fives coming from the road courses in NASCAR. NASCAR experimenting with that, and I like the way it worked out. The road courses are fun to watch. Sonoma was an absolute blast. Coda was awesome seeing the cars there. As he's a guy that can do it. Joe Stafford can make it happen at a road course, but definitely wants to see himself winning in right here for sure.
One thing to note, it does look like Barrett Coffey, Steve Cornez, Bob Nestor, that pack is gaining a little bit. I'm seeing them now at under 7 seconds behind the lead pack here when we were looking at almost over 10 seconds before. So these guys trying to make some ground. You've got about 7-8 cars here, single file. If they can hold their line here and work together, they might actually have a chance of getting back up there as the gap is sitting right around 6.8 right now.
Definitely. It's all about working together. You know, you hear in the chat, if you race these races, you hear all the time, guys, stay in line. You know, you don't want to fight for, why are we fighting for 15th when we can be up there fighting for first? And they definitely getting that message. Everybody staying in line, peeking out maybe to get some air. But a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
So something to
Steve Cornez has been right up on the rear bumper of that force, so no surprise that they're making up the time that they are. Having a couple lappers fall back to them should give them a nice little bit of tow. The 72 moved out of the way, the lead pack, so I would expect him to do the same for this pack as well, as he's holding the middle right now, more than likely to move up.
Definitely trying to get Tony up there. I believe that's Tony.
I believe so, yeah. Tony Burt
trying to just come out there and unfortunately has some issues down pit road. But he's going to help us out and get it to the high line and try and catch that draft, possibly some damage. Oh, he was one of those that was involved in the pit road incident. That's yep.
That's
I'm recognizing that car. Yeah. So you got to work that as what do you say we go on board with? Yeah, we go on board with Joseph Lester and go to a Turn It Up segment.
Yeah, let's
really
do it.
Quickly. As you guys crank up, we'll do the same. As we are going to go to a Turn It Up sponsored by Buttkicker. Got one hooked up. Now would be the time, as it's going to be rocking as we come with lap 46 of 94 here at the Davis Brothers Roofing 250 at Talladega. All right, as pit road stops have begun. Benjamin Harp coming down. I think Chris Claude's going to be making his way in with Kevin Rourke. A couple of folks with that way. Oh, it's Austin Story. Bunch of folks coming down pit road.
Coming in now.
We'll keep an eye on that as
Everybody looking to get through, get in clean without any contact. At this point in the race, you've got to wonder if 2 tires versus 4 tires comes in, if gas only comes in, as you see RJ Root already coming out of the pits. Got to try to not.
Oh, that was.
But lucky.
Ooh, that should have been contact. That was
he might
close,
have still put
but
his box, the other car was, but yeah, that was very close. You see the race off pit road. Got one guy way out in front there. I would imagine RJ Root. He just gapped. He's probably made up 4 more spots on pit road.
possibly so. As we got a couple more takers down pit road. Everybody trying to get slowed down, get those RPMs, get them green lights all the way up. Get cone taken out there.
Oh, you see one guy out in the grass right now. Is that the, couldn't tell who that was.
I think Joe Stafford's going to inherit the lead here as he comes around. Brian Tarnowski currently scored as your leader. He's not came in yet this cycle. So Joe Stafford out on his lonesome. He's got a whole gaggle behind him. That is not looking good for him. As we're going to take a look under that issue. Bennett Allen. Under that pit cycle, I'm sorry. Bennett Allen going into the grass. Getting a little sideways on the apron there. Oh, almost comes in front of some drivers. Wow. That almost should have been a caution. Wow. Oh my gosh, that was close. Who was that around him? I want to know.
I thought I saw Lauren Jones, but man, they flew by so quick. I'm happy that wasn't an incident bigger than it was. Obviously, Bennett Allen missed the pits there and lost control in the grass, and I don't know if he was trying to get back up onto the track after missing the pits, if he just tried to cut through the grass, or if he just didn't have control over the car. But yeah, you see Steve Darderis in the 3, Lauren Jones going by on the outside, and a couple more taking evasive action there to avoid a bigger problem.
We're going to see Steve's view of this as he kind of maybe bailed on pit road, seeing how bad it was, and then boy, he couldn't have fit a piece of paper between them folks.
Man, he's going to need a pit next time for a new pair of shorts. That is insane. That was close.
And as as that was going down, Austin Story and RJ Root up 27 positions now, currently scored in 2nd place. As he is trying to get a move on here. Joe Stafford got past. That oncoming momentum was too much. I'm going to get passed by Austin Story.
Barrett Coffey there at the tail end of the lead lap, right in front of Austin Story, hoping for a quick yellow. Be interesting to see if they try to get around him or if they're content letting him ride up in front.
Yeah, I think if your air is good, you don't want to risk popping out and getting left, especially in a 5-car group. It's going to be hard as they are pushing. But man, Chris Claude currently in 14th. And so this is a good time. Let's go ahead and run through our standings. You know, Austin Story, RJ Root, and Joe Stafford are our top 3. Ryan Samuelson, Nicholas Breidenbach, and Seba Cornez 7th through 9th. So a lot of points there. But man, Kevin O'Rourke having an issue. He went back a lap. Chris Claude is now currently running 14th. Doing a really good job. And you know, you've still got the Roval, so they're not too worried about the points, but man, to be above the cutoff going into it could be huge and could be a lot of momentum going to the Roval as we're going to go back up front to this little group. These groups are really trying to work on each other and trying to stay calm, cool, and collected so they don't cut into that lead and get some more cars. You don't want any more cars in there.
You know, I almost hate to say this right now, but this is almost kind of reminding me of almost like a Formula One type deal where just the strategy is so important. Most of the passing happening on pit road, just because, I mean, obviously, unlike Formula One, people don't work together like this, but just with how important the strategy has been in, you know, coming in, when to take tires, how many tires to take, and just to see people leapfrogging in that sense.
Yeah, which is interesting. You know, you say that Chris Claude, this is a 2-car group, and look at these lap times. Once they pull up, they're catching on the leaders by a half a second. So this package, definitely a surprise here, is these 2 cars not even bump drafting, just working together and catching the draft up from the Lauren Jones, it looks like, and reining in the leaders, cutting it down by about half a second a lap, which is very interesting for this group, this package. So it's going to be interesting to see if that works IRL. I know we got one driver there, George, in the comments on Facebook. I appreciate you, George, for sticking around. And maybe we'll see that work in the real life race tomorrow. I believe that's noon Central, and 1 o'clock Eastern at Talladega rain out. If you follow NASCAR.
Yeah, hopefully we run tomorrow, but I guess we'll just have to see. We've got exciting action here going on for Sunday night NASCAR, though, so you're not missing out on fantastic Cup Series action here, as we've got quite the strategy battle as tore this field apart. I would imagine some of these guys up front maybe took 2 tires that last time around. I know you mentioned the 10 of Chris Claude, said 2 tires was the call. We got a lot of differing strategies here. This group here is trying to chase down the lead group.
We see Austin Story coming on some. Of course, he's got Jeff O'Rourke, Kevin O'Rourke, I'm sorry, in front of him. This group trying to stay in front of the leaders, as this pack could get sketchy.
Yeah, a couple cars moving up to the outside here. Now, the 4 car, he's racing all these guys up in front of him. He wants these positions. He wants to stay the first car, or the last car on the lead lap, or the first car 1 lap down. So, losing a spot here or not gaining these spots, rather, these spots are critical for him.
As everybody's going side by side here, RJ Root bring around that outside line. He's going to duck back in, get back in the safe spot. Joseph Lester tried the top line. Did not work
doing for him right now. Going to try to slide in back behind that number 5.
And every one of these cars is momentum, as we see Devin Medeiros, Josh Ward, and Ryan Samuelson with Nicholas Breidenbach just trying to catch that lead group. That 3 wide is definitely going to help them as those last lap times come in. They've gained about a second to try and catch them. And once they get with this rear spoiler, the amount of air that gets displaced is huge. So you can definitely
close up real quick now.
Yeah, they're punching a hole in that air. I'm just going to show them. Oh, as I saw a little 3 wide action back there with Chris Claude's group. I believe that was Chris Claude's group. No, that's Robert Nestor's group, and they're still 3 wide. Working around the slower car. That's something you got to take into account. You don't know if the guy you're trying to come up to is slow or not. You have to make some evasive maneuvers.
Yeah, you want to try to take that toe as long as you can and then move out. Just get around him as quick as possible, because you're going to lose time if you slot in behind him and try to push, especially if he's damaged.
Yeah, and hopefully they get the message and don't try and move out of your way right as you're trying to pass him. As we got Steve Cornez working with Kevin O'Rourke.
More side-by-side action going on back here. Matt Gaskins trying to get around Kevin Rourke, the lap car there, and Cornez right up on that left rear. That's a tough spot to hit somebody, especially coming up off the corner there. These guys keep it straight. Lose a little bit of ground to the cars on the inside now, but still going to try to keep that momentum rolling. Maybe try to get him again here. If not, maybe just slide in and try to push up there and get this time. Yeah, here we are. The second pack has caught the leaders for the most part. And, oh, not quite. Saw the wrong car. But the lappers have fallen into this pack, making it bigger. These guys getting single file. They might be just far enough away to start pulling away from these other cars behind them.
Definitely. I think it's Brian Tarnowski, now the lap position car. Currently trying to stay with these guys so he can get the advantage that Thomas Neal had to pass everybody.
Yeah, we'll see as they come across the line what the gap is back to Devin Medeiros from the leader here. About 2.4 now, so they lost a tenth that lap.
We're on board with Austin Story looking down his rearview mirror. Joseph Lester trying the outside. Oh, we're wrecking!
On board with the Austin Story car. It looked like he just hit somebody. I don't know. He got either... Wow. You can't tell when you're running on the back, but what happened here?
Oh, man.
Barrett Coffey moves down to the inside of the 21 and comes back up, and Austin Story with nowhere to go. Joseph Lester's involved. Chad Sanner with nowhere to go. Wow.
That was
my
Dave
goodness.
Regal. We're going to see
More
just
cars
what
coming
happened
through
here.
Yeah, the Ford car tried to move down to the inside of the slower car. I don't know if he didn't anticipate the closing rate there, but he moved back up on him and took out a bunch of lead cars. Not took out, but it looked like Sanner and Lester. Sanner's going to run right back into the back of the 21 car here, and well, he drove through him, so I wonder... I just don't know there.
Yeah, that's on a very unfortunate move for Barrett Coffey there as they're closing on the lap car just holding his line, trying to stay out of everybody's way, and just a last second decision by Barrett Coffey to come up really bites him in the rear end. These are two playoff drivers here, folks. Barrett Coffey, and I believe that was Austin Story who has to take that thing to the hauler. Very unfortunate for him. Because that changes the entire race, folks. Brian Tarnowski is going to get his lap back as long as he didn't get any incidents there. Looks like if he stayed clean, he's good to go. Otherwise, it's going to be Kevin O'Rourke, which really needs it.
So these guys pitted about 15 laps ago. I don't think anyone can make it from here without another caution. So all these lead lap cars pitting. We might get I don't know, is there a wave around rule here?
Yeah, they'll get a wave around if they're out in front of the leaders. So right now, I think it's Brian Tarnowski. He's going to take his lucky dog. Charles Eaton, Jeff O'Rourke is going to get the wave around with one to go. And I believe that's going to be it.
A couple more cars getting back onto the lead lap here.
See the race down pit road.
We went over 60 laps. We almost went 2/3 of this race without a caution, and now we've got the whole strategy game blown wide open. You're not trying to chase down another pack anymore. You're not really trying to undercut anybody. If anything, if we stay green, which is a really big ask this late in the race, we might be down in a fuel mileage game.
Definitely. We're going to see a little bit here who gets the wave around. Like Kevin O'Rourke. Well, no, I'm sorry. It's going to be Charles Eaton and Jeff O'Rourke are going to be the only two drivers to get the wave around with one to go, but they've still got to make two stops. They're hoping for something else. But, oh, man, blown wide open. Austin Story, unfortunately, going down, trying to pass under the yellow, did not. And we talked about it. You really got to be aware of the speed disparity. If you come up on a lap car, you don't know how fast they're going when you're going 200 miles an hour. 10 miles an hour there, passing grandma on the right side. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's It's a tough deal, like we mentioned, that speed differential. You really don't want to get up right behind somebody, and it just seemed like a very, very last second decision to move down. And then I'm not totally sure what else happened, I guess.
We're gonna see if Austin's story. I don't know if he's in the Discord. Yep, he's in GeForce Racing. If you want to go talk to that group and see what happened, see if they want to come in, if they're good, and then I'll keep it from here, and then you just let me know when you come back.
Sounds good. Find them real quick.
There we go. We have not got the one to go. I believe we'll get it this time around. We got one to go here, folks. They're going to take another lap around Talladega. It'll be about 2 minutes. Hopefully we can get somebody in here, get some information for what was going on there. Maybe just jitters, trying to make it in the playoffs. Austin Story has a pretty good lead here. He was currently in second place, 27 positions to the good, trying to get that thing fixed. But unfortunately, I think he's going to be headed to the hauler, as we're going to rack them up side by side. Joe Stafford and Joe Lester. It's a Joe sandwich up there up front. RJ Root behind him. All right. Starting on the inside road.
You have Austin Story in the waiting room. We can bring him on in whenever you're ready.
Go right ahead.
All right, Austin. We saw you running up front there, and then an unfortunate move coming up off of turn 4 where everything just kind of came together with a couple of cars in one spot. What happened there from your vantage point?
The guy who's always critiquing everyone else just did something so stupid. I don't know how you can be so stupid to do something like that. He's clearly staying on the inside, and you're just going to shoot below the double yellow and then come back right up into him? That is so stupid.
Yeah, we talked about it. Talked about it a little bit in the broadcast. Hard to see the speed disparity, and unfortunately, that decision really hurting you. How are you feeling about the Roval next week?
I'm fine. I think I'll do good, but just gotta hope Barrett finishes the Roval. Just gotta make sure that he gets through all the laps at the Roval so he can advance to the next round. It would be a shame if he doesn't. A shame.
Definitely is.
It would be
I'm sure
awful.
that storyline will carry over. Austin, I appreciate your time. We're about to go green here, buddy, and good luck next week at the Roval.
Thank you.
All right, so some emotions coming from Austin Story here. It's never tough to be leading the race and get taken out in an unexpected way. And we were riding on board with the 23 as that happened, but just how unexpected that was. Seems like, green flag has just come back out.
There, make sure everybody gets rolling here. Joseph Lester going to lead him around. Joe Stafford going to fall back on the inside, let his old teammate in. A little bit of chivalry there as he just wants to get clean.
Close moment there. These guys aren't playing as nice as they were at the beginning of the race. As we see the 12 of Bob Nestor trying to get down and couldn't find a hole there. We're going to have some more side-by-side action going on towards the back of the pack here. And so a little bit of contact's going to shove the 70 of Love down to the inside. He's going to try to rejoin right back in front of Warren Young. That might split these packs up just a little bit. You see the stragglers towards the back just trying to not get involved in anything right now.
And here it is, folks. Chris Cloud trying to make that outside line work with Jarrett Phillips on the inside. Robert Nestor up high as well, I believe. We're seeing just how much that fall off is going to be as Chris Cloud's got to find his way to the inside. He does not have enough help to stay on that outside. You don't want to break that up. He's going to pop down in front of Steve Gardarius. Oh, there we go.
Thought about moving up to take the momentum he had right back around, Chris, but didn't do it that time around. You see everybody getting single file right now, and I wonder if that fuel mileage game that I mentioned before is potentially wearing at some of these guys' heads.
Because we're going to check out this green flag start. Barrett Coffee with some engine damage, unfortunately. Helping with that. We got a checkup here. Let me kind of watch it. My replay may be a little off. There we go. Yeah, huge checkup, forcing everybody behind him up. And then in front of him, we got Chris Claude on the outside, just start there, trying to finish there, as that's what caused that issue. As he's slow. Oh, Bear Coffee, unfortunate. But oh, we got a battle. Another car staying high. That's Warren Young. Trying to get out on the high line, possibly pushed out of line, trying to get some air. We're at the point where if somebody pops out for air and they leave a spot, you got to bet people are going to take it and take that position, put themselves in a better position coming up to lap 69. Nice.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to take everything you can get. I mean, any spot you can get to put you a little bit towards the front. We're down under 30 to go, so we're not at total crunch time yet, but we saw how the pack split up with pit stops and racing side by side, so you don't want to sit and take these risks and potentially lose time to the leaders. I mean, especially when we saw how the outside line got going at Daytona. We just need to get some guys up there, and I mean, it'll be a show.
Definitely, as we're on board now with Joseph Lester. We already had a call out for him in the chat, so if you're watching for him, your guy's leading the race. You got to feel good about that. Toyota up front. But another thing about this, if you're watching this race and you're thinking, man, I wish officials would run single file and be safe. One thing about that is when they come down pit road and you're single file, it brings a whole mess of issues along with it. So it's going to be interesting to see once that pit strategy, because it's wide open now. You could come anywhere from 63 is when they started. You got to think they're going to be about lap 80, which is about 10 to go. But when they decide to come in, it's going to be entirely on teammates and who you're working around, because you got to have somebody else to come out. We saw that. So it's not as predictable now, Liam. Not, they're not coming in at lap 75 or whatever. They might just come in whenever they think their fuel's green.
Yeah, I mean, we saw you guys were going about 25 to 28 laps before, and with just over that on a restart. I don't know. I'm not the crew chief. I can't make this call. I usually have somebody in my ear telling me when I need to get fuel.
As we're on board with Seabuck Ornez here, working on Nicholas Breidenbach, having to get out and get a good bit of air on that radiator to keep it cool, as he is all up on that Exalta 24.
Oh, look at how close he is. He's going to bump him.
Oh, man, that's going to be a huge checkup all the way back. You can kind of see it here, folks.
Still running almost 200 miles an hour, though, coming up off the corner here. Had to check up off the gas there just a little bit with that run he had up on Nicholas Breidenbach. He's peeking out to the right side just to try to get a little bit more air to the front of that car. I mean, as cool as you can keep it for as long as you can, that might just give you a couple more seconds at the end of being right up on somebody's bumpers. You see another little checkup on the inside. Having to get off the gas to Seabuck Ornez down to about 191 going through, 190 going through the tri-oval, compared to 200 coming up off of turn 2. This just goes to show how quickly these runs move around with these cars. I know there's a bit of a bubble, but these runs develop quickly.
They do, as we're going between the front and back cameras of Seabuck Ornez there, just seeing what he has to deal with, as it's happening. These checkups are hard in the middle of the pack. They got to keep an eye on, and you don't get that slingshot effect. You get it a little bit in this package, but it's definitely not as pronounced as it used to be in the restrictor plate era. These guys now, with that bubble, you're way safer in the draft. You're going to fall like a rock if you get pushed into that high line.
Oh, definitely. But at the same time, if you get that big checkup on the inside, you get 2 or 3 guys that go with you, all of a sudden, you're gaining a couple of spots on those guys who have to slow down, and that just looks so much more appealing to the guys behind you who want to move up more spots.
Definitely, as we're going to do another playoff track. I love doing them. Joe Stafford, RJ Root running 2nd and 3rd, Ryan Samuelson in 6th, Nicholas Breidenbach, Seabuck Ornez 8th and 9th, and Chris Claude making up a ton of positions here on Kevin Rourke, Randy Spivey, Steve Dardarius, and of course, unfortunately, Austin Story in the hauler. Just to go back to that interview, very unfortunate for Austin. We know he was just coming out of that wreck. Nothing that he had to do with it. Just wrong place, wrong time. That's how it happens here at Talladega. So he had a front row seat to what happened, and he let us know what he thought about it. But just very unfortunate for him, and as well, good luck. I'm glad he's okay after that. His hard turn into the wall. Yeah, these sim cars are safer than ever.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's not that hard hit. You always hate to be a Joe Rogan and go into the ring and put a microphone in a knocked out fighter's face right as he's waking up. But you know, that's just kind of the emotion that comes with this style of racing. You run so many laps, you run almost picture perfect, and such as Talledega's nature, something out of your control can very well take you out of this thing at really any point.
Definitely, as we see that outside line, we see that who's that green car there? Is that Dave Regal? No, it's not Dave Regal.
76 Jarrett Phillips.
Yeah, the 76 of Jarrett Phillips trying to test out that high line. He's got Warren Young behind him. Oh, so we got a lot of cars coming down pit road.
Oh, buddy, these guys splash and go. This is it, trying to make it to the end. Do not speed here. 5 cars look to be into the pits right now. That's going to take the lead and put it into the hands of Joe Stafford. But RJ Root sitting there in second place now.
Yeah, these guys teammates. Your top 3, Joe Stafford, RJ Root, and Ryan Samuelson teammates. So you got to know they're talking in the Discord. They're going to work together. Let's just hope everybody behind them gets the memo.
Yeah, you can't wave your hand out the window in sim racing. You can hit the button and pop a message in chat, but sometimes people don't have that on. Sometimes you don't always see it. Looks like we're staying out this time again, and it'll be interesting to see. We had 5 cars that came in on their own strategy there. What is the speed differential going to be for these lead lap cars, these lead pack cars, who have probably 12 lead lap cars here on the front straightaway, and a couple more lappers. So you see these guys got a little bit split up. They're going to want to try to get back together as quick as possible here. So they're just losing time, not sitting in this trap.
Definitely is. They're going to come in and you know, if fuel plays a factor in that, I bet it doesn't. You know, you got a lot of scratches. A huge checkup at Chris Claude's area. Steve Dardarius behind him. I'm sorry, that 3 on the top was messing me up. But, of course, that 3 is for Buddy, RJ Root's grandfather, who unfortunately succumbed to COVID. So always be thinking about that, guys. We're almost out of it. We just got to be diligent. And, of course, you'll see a lot of 3s on the top of these cars. That was his favorite driver, Dale Earnhardt. So a little bit of a tribute to him still on the cars today. And they did a 3-wide salute. That was something to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really thought that was a beautiful moment. Everybody coming together just to show support throughout league-wide support for RJ, and just to be unified in this tough time is nice. We see some guys moving up top. It almost worked for a second there, but I wonder if we're going to see some pit stops here coming now as people start to get 3 wide, moving all sorts of around. Double wide now. We'll see this coming up off the corner here. It's starting to check up. No pit stops, but a big checkup coming up off the corner. And we've got a couple more cars trying to work that outside. Looks like we've got 3 of them right now. 4 of them if you...
Seba Cornez working up that way, but Jarrett Phillips, we talked about him testing out that high line. Jarrett taking no breaks. He's not checking up. Brad Keselowski not lifting, getting to the front of the pack from about midfield. So that's how quick it happens, folks. The leaders went high, and Ryan Samuelson having to do a little blocking we saw there. As we'll go back and watch that replay real quick. I know there's a lot of action happening. You just let me know if we have to go back.
Yeah, for sure. We've got
just a huge run and taking advantage of it.
Lester's trying to get that run, but huge lead right now. Probably 3 car lengths, 2 car lengths for the 76, Jarrett Phillips. I don't know if he taped that car all up, but he has got a whole new sense of speed right now.
As the cars behind him have not been able to catch him. That's interesting. As RJ Root, they're now working on the top line, trying to get out in front. You got to think this team's coming in soon. Everybody has to pit one more time.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We saw those guys come in early to try to make a little bit of an undercut. They're currently sitting about 35 seconds back right now. Bob Nestor has lost those 4. So, be interesting to see how those speeds line up and if they can try to take advantage of the fact that this pack is getting super dicey up front coming up off the corner here.
Yeah, those are lap cars. We're 3 wide. Jarrett Phillips falling back between a ton of lap cars trying to get their laps back. Trying to hold that thing down. That 3 wide. This is not even a battle for the lead, folks.
No, he's just trying to get through it. A little bit of contact with Neil there. They're going to get through it right now. This is not what you want to see if you've got a hot rod like Jarrett Phillips does right now. I mean, all these cars in front of you, you're going to get a nice tow from the cars in front, but the side-by-side battles, they're going to put a parachute on your rear spoiler behind your rear wheels. It's going to try to slot back down in front of the 57, Joe Stafford. And,
believe it or not, he's going to get his lap back. Like, he's still the leader, folks. This guy in the middle of the field, this lime green 76 of Jarrett Phillips, all those cars in front of him, last came in at lap 74, so that was that group. Caught them so quickly, we missed it, folks, as Joe Stafford is kind of letting these lap cars sort out their own issues, giving them tons of space.
3 wide right in front of our leader as we're trying to work around the slow car of Barrett Coffee all the way up to the top. Almost to the top goes Jarrett Phillips, as he's actually gained over half a second amongst this battle with these lapped cars.
Yeah, but if he gets too far out ahead of him, he's going to have to pit on his own, which could be extremely detrimental. He's got to be looking in his rearview mirror and saying, hey, if Joe Stafford even acts like he's going or calls it out, he might be coming down a late pit road, as they're going to be working around the slow car of the number 4 Barrett Coffee, unfortunately involved in that incident. Lap 73, I believe, or I'm sorry, 59, something around there.
Yeah.
So yeah, long-term, maybe a short-term gain, long-term loss here for Jarrett Phillips. He's going to have to come down pit road with 13 laps to go, possibly without any help.
Yeah, he's got about 3/4 of a second between him and second place, and I don't know, man. That I wonder if he's been saving something towards the end of this thing and wait for the right moment to try to get out in front. This is a pretty unique opportunity for him, where this group of lappers has split apart from the lead pack, and he, obviously riding with them, is gapping the rest of the pack as well. So now another lap car goes side by side trying to get his lap back.
So we got in the back Lauren Jones, Barrett Coffee, and Seba Cornez unfortunately stuck behind Barrett Coffee, wondering if he knows that he's down on power and he's going to have to get around him. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of what caused that issue. He tries to go low and doesn't realize it's there. He's going to have to find a way around him, as Jarrett Phillips is still involved. All these lap cars racy.
I'm not so sure. I guess I can't understand why this lap pack has gapped the rest of the field now all of a sudden. Jarrett Phillips isn't running outrageously fast right now. He's 192 coming up off the corner, so I don't know. I mean, last time around we showed 2 seconds. We're over 3 seconds of a gap now from second place Joe Stafford to first place Jarrett Phillips. So
yeah,
definitely a unique strategy coming out. I wonder if he's just trying to get as far ahead as he can.
As I believe that's Steve Dardarius. Is that who's leading this pack? Just maybe that thing's taped up to the ears, moving this thing with I think the 32 of Bennett Allen, who has had a ton of speed. He's a very quick racer. They don't have to pit. Jarrett Phillips will, though. I hate to keep saying that, but yeah, side by side, you do not think that they would be gapping a second a lap on everybody in front of him. Maybe Joe Stafford. No way that he's trying to save fuel, right?
It'd be a tough deal to do from the lead, but I don't know. It was close in my head, but Steve Dardarius is letting some guys go now.
Yeah, unfortunately got a little bad bump, bad touch, and went low, was able to save it. We'll watch that. We'll see what happened. Oh, yeah, caught in the quarter panel. Oh, massive save through the grass. Steve Dardarius.
Oh, buddy.
You at home want to feel the rush of getting turned from the front of a pack. You're about to see it. We're on board with Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Joe Stafford's trying to save fuel. He's running about 7,500 RPMs through the triover right now, leading this pack. And Yeah, I think you made the call there correct. I mean, Joe Stafford's more than likely going to try to make it to the end of this thing. He's only running about 180 going through the corners right now, and big let off there, moving up to the top.
Yeah, letting some teammates go by and not going to catch a spot back into it. Oh man, this is heating up, folks. A little strategy coming into play as these guys behind him have not been having to use as much fuel, but I can't imagine they've been drafting so closely while saving fuel. That's insane. The skill level here.
Just to kind of put into perspective how much these guys are letting off, Barrett Coffey in the Ford car is holding pace with these guys. And we saw how quickly he was passed earlier on in the race. It's a wild call. I'm excited to see if it works out.
Yeah, with Jarrett Phillips now is a 10-second gap here. He's slowing down himself, maybe realizing that he's going to have to either come around this time or something. Oh, is the front. That's Brian Tarnowski.
Yeah.
This lead group, a lot of stuff going on here. Chris Claude is in this group. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Come on now.
Not quite the lead group, but, you know, close enough. This is the guys that have already made their pit stops, and they're gaining heavily on the guys who are trying to save now. There's about a 10-second difference between them.
Yeah, Joseph Lester, the first car that has pitted. And they are closing on those that have not. So maybe this strategy not playing out to their liking as RJ Root is going to have... They're saving for a sprint here with 7 laps to go, folks. Brought to you by Davis Brothers Roofing. Appreciate them.
Yeah,
if you're in the greater Tennessee area and you need some roofing done on your residential or commercial building, they can help you out. As Lauren Jones, breakout star here, trying to make it to the top. It's just going to take a matter of who's going to hit the loud pedal first and who's going to try and get out there.
Yeah, I think Lauren Jones might have gotten the call. We are good to go, and has now gassed it up. Barrett Coffey trying to take advantage of that. And here comes Devin Medeiros, Joseph Lester, and is that the 63 of Josh Ward? Here they come. This is passing for position. These guys made their pit stops. They're good to go on fuel. These guys trying to get out and save. Their bed has been made. They have to go now. They can't. Well, I mean, they're either going to lose these spots, and
Something.
I got my mind.
You know what? I figured it out. Folks. For you guys at home, this second group, the group that's staying out, RJ Root, Seba Cornez, Ryan Samuelson, all these guys are getting passed by this group that pitted, are playoff drivers. Not a single playoff driver has pitted, except for Randy Spivey, who's a couple laps down. Because we got a 3-wide battle back here. So these are for playoff points. This is super interesting. That's why these guys have stayed back so far, and that's why they're waiting, because they know that it's a playoff battle, and no one in playoffs has came in yet.
That is, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. I mean, you put it that way. You know you're not racing those guys. Those guys have to try something wild to make this happen. Garrett Phillips' lead is down to about 5 seconds.
Yeah, Joseph, he had to get caught on his own, knew he wasn't going to take it. Now he's going to be the slow car, as everybody else is coming up on him with about a 20-mile-per-hour discrepancy. So Joseph Lester more than likely going to inherit the lead when he gets up to him. RJ Root working in 6th position. Trying to keep everybody behind him.
To the end? Do they have enough fuel to make a push for the win? What are we going to see here in these last 4 laps here at Talladega? We are right down to the nitty-gritty of this thing, and to be honest, it's kind of flown by with so much action here. We've lost a little track of the lap counter, but got 4 laps to go to decide the win here at Talladega. We've got 3 different strategies playing out. Jarrett Phillips is already down to 4th place. He's probably going to get swallowed up by the second line here. No, maybe not quite. RJ Root makes a move to the outside. No help from Samuelson. Samuelson moves back low. He's going to let RJ back down in.
Yeah, so these guys Coming in, the 99, Kevin Rourke is going to take it and say that he does not think that they have the fuel to make it, so he's going to come down pit road. RJ Root leading this group. Oh, no, RJ Root coming down pit road.
Oh, he's coming in hot. Locks up the brakes big time. I hope he gets slowed up. Yep, it looked like he got slowed up enough there.
This is your battle for the... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, takes himself out of contention for the race win, potentially losing a lot of points here. Seba Cornez also. These playoff drivers, like you mentioned, tried to run a different strategy. It's not going to pan out for him here at the end.
Yeah, Joseph Lester. Yeah, Joseph Lester, your leader. Devin Medeiros behind him. We're going to follow this battle. They are the leaders. They deserve it. But we'll keep an eye back there on Ryan Samuelson and Nicholas Breidenbach, trying to save fuel enough. 3 laps to go. That's 6 miles. And when you get gallons to the mile instead of miles to the gallon, it all makes sense here. We got a car sideways.
I don't know if he was coming into the pits. He had to have been, but he got turned. A little bad bump. He's going to almost clip the grass, but keeps it straight. 2 laps to go for Joseph Lester. Behind him, Devin Medeiros, Josh Ward, also not too far behind. If I had to guess, these would be the only 3 who can play the factors. We see 3 more cars behind him. Ryan Samuelson, Nicholas Breidenbach, and David Love. It'll be interesting to see if they can form up and get there, or if they're just committed to the fuel-saving game. Try to make it to the end. Obviously, they're going to gain some spots on guys like RJ Root, Seba Cornez, who had to come in.
Joe Stafford also deciding to come in. Another playoff driver waiting till the end. But this is going to be your battle for the win, folks, and they got nothing else to lose. So we might see a little bit of action here. Joseph Lester, Devin Medeiros, and Josh Ward running top 3. They last pitted. Josh Ward's going to try and come out on top, make this a V formation. We have some smoke there. Not sure what happened there.
White flag is in the air for Joseph Lester. Can he bring this home? Josh Ward moves his way into second. Can he back up enough to get a run to get side by side with this 45? He's trying to pull the outside just a little bit, but that bubble's going to stick with him. A little bit of lap traffic might help pull the 45 away from Josh Ward. No help for Devin Medeiros right now down the back straightaway.
That's so far Ryan Samuelson, Nicholas Breidenbach. We told you we keep an eye on this battle because they are running out of fuel, running on fumes here in 1 and 2. Joseph Lester, Josh Ward going to take it into the straightaway.
Ward trying to move back to the 20 of Devin Medeiros. He's going to get a little bit of a run. Is it going to be enough to make a move to the outside? Here he comes. He looks high. Not going to be enough. Lester makes the block. He looks back low. He's going to get there, but moves down below the yellow line to avoid contact. Joseph Lester's going to win the race.
Joseph Lester, your winner with a fantastic run there. Winning it on strategy. Ryan Samuelson and Nicholas Breidenbach. I don't know if they're running on fumes or what, but Chris Cloud, your 7th place finisher there in the playoff driver.
Down the front straightaway. Warren Young getting a push from Tony Burt. Getting a little bit of a bump. Chris Cloud out of power there. RJ Root's going to try to gain some of these spots from the slow cars littered across the front stretch as they have run out of gas. Joseph Lester pushing him. Side by side with Cornez and Phillips. Lauren Jones.
Getting a little push from the teammate there, Barrett Coffey.
Coffey slides on the apron, trying to get back up and push.
Yeah, this race, I think there's an official. We are officially done here. Joseph Lester taking the win. Josh Ward in second as Joseph's going to burn it down there on the straightaway. Well deserved.
Down, buddy. Well deserved indeed. I mean, that strategy call was amazing. I mean, I didn't think for sure they were going to be able to make it to the end, and then those guys started trying to save. I mean, it really threw everything for a loop, but fantastic strategy call and amazing blocking coming up out of turn number 4 to secure this victory at Talladega for Joseph Lester.
Definitely fantastic job by them as we're going to get these guys in the booth here. You're going to watch him burn that down.
Lester with a little bit of a hit to Coffee there. I wonder what that was about.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab these folks. Get them done as the festivities have concluded. They're racing with each other. Let's get Devin Medeiros, Josh Ward, and Joseph Lester. Going to be waiting for them to come in. What a finish. Devin Medeiros, Josh Ward, and Joseph Lester doing a hell of a job there in this broadcast, in this race. Just absolutely fantastic job.
I'm just looking for...
I don't think Devin's in the Discord. Josh Ward. We can grab him. There he is.
Moving to the... Then Lester, I'll grab him.
All right, Devin Medeiros, third place finish, coming down pit road on lap 74. Tell us about that race, trying to get back through the field.
Yeah, we knew that we were going to be a few laps short, and we just didn't think we were going to be able to save because all three of us were working together as well as some of the FFR, but they kind of just left us out there. They didn't pit with us, so surprised about that. But seeing we were gaining 2-3 seconds a lap when they were trying to save, that was nice to see.
Definitely, and you know, non-playoff driver just coming out here running to support the league. Like, first of all, congrats on that. But what did you think? So you said you were expecting Field Filler to come in. How surprised were you guys to realize how much you were gaining?
I mean, whenever we saw they didn't pit, we were getting worried that they were going to actually make it on fuel and they didn't need a save. And then seeing that they were saving so much, or we were gaining so much time on them, we were like, knew that we'd probably catch them by the end of the race. So.
Definitely. Did you have anything for him there at the end to get some more spots?
No. Whenever Josh went high in the tri-oval, right at the white flag, there was no way I was going to get a big enough run just by myself. So I was going to be content for third unless Josh wanted to go high with me.
Definitely. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish. Who you got on the car? Who do you want to shout out?
Outkast Sim Paints, RJ and his grandpa when he's going through. My parents for watching, my grandma for watching. And that's about all.
Definitely. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish here at Dega. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
All right, next pull in Josh Ward. Josh, third or second place finish there. I'll let you take this one, Liam.
Yeah, we saw you guys coming to the white flag. That move you made to the outside to take second place. What were you kind of hoping for to materialize throughout that last lap?
Well, I came into this race knowing that I might have a limited number of allies. We've had inter-team alliances with FFR, Devin's team, and 23x11 and Function. I asked Joseph to help me get around Devin with the expectation that either Devin would not help me get around Joseph at the end, or I would be just complacent with my second place. I then decided to back up to Devin, tried to get the run and help him push me around him. I didn't back up in time. I did it going into probably 4. I probably should have done it going into 3, and that probably would have gave me just enough to get past Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely...
a little bit of politics there, Josh Ward. I see you.
Oh, it was that entire race was a story of tragedy. If you heard it from the racer's perspective, that driver radio, it was something. The mess going on there.
Well, I'll let you get it back, Leon. I just had to get that in.
Yeah, I mean, you fought until the very end. You moved high. You tried to fake low there, and then we saw you check up to avoid contact there coming across the line. I mean, overall, a fantastic run. When did you guys kind of make that strategy call to make that pit stop and split the
between
stage, so to speak?
All of the teams, the agreement was we were going from 24 to 20 because that was pit cycle. We were going to undercut it because undercutting's better at super speedway. You get organized faster whenever they're coming off pit road. You get a free run off the covers coming out. You can go high, get around them, right? Well, that was the call originally, but then we also started discussing the possibility of being able to save to the end. Well, it was said that we were all going in, but it turned out that only 4 of us went. So knowing that me, Joseph, and Devin had worked together the entire race thus far, we worked to shuffle Matt Gaskins out and knew we would be fast in that order. About 10 to go, I started getting worried because we were gaining maybe a second a lap on the leader, not realizing at all that the leader was in a completely separate pack, about 10 seconds ahead of the other group. We were gaining on them 5 seconds a lap while I'm sitting here worrying we're only gaining a second a lap. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely wild to see that 76 move out so far in front of the pack. I'd imagine that probably threw some confusion in the strategy coming there at the end.
So, Josh, good strategy, good run, getting a second place finish, helping out some non-teammates there. But you're going to be sharing a beer tonight, I bet. Tell us who's on the car.
Function Auto Sport is the primary sponsor. They help the team out. That's they've supported the team since before I ever got here. I do want to publicly apologize to my teammate Jarrett Phillips. We were in team radio while I was in driver radio with the Alliance. He didn't get the opportunity to add it to his driver radio, and I completely forgot throughout the entire race that he wasn't in driver radio with us. So when that last pit stop call happened, he was completely unaware because I forgot. Like, it's completely on me. He very well could have been, me and him very well could have been 1 and 2 if I would have just remembered to bring him with me. More help. But that's completely on me. It honestly was probably cost me to win for not thinking of him whenever I should have.
Well, definitely going into the Roval. I know you're excited about it and coming out here and showing, and we appreciate you showing up, buddy. Good luck, good race.
I don't drive metric, but I appreciate it anyway. Thank you.
All right, folks. So next we're gonna bring in Ryan Samuelson. We're gonna bring in our race winner to give him more time last. So we're gonna bring in Ryan Samuelson right now, finishing in 4th place. I just wanted to get a couple insights on the fuel strategy and tell us what you were thinking there at the end.
It was very a stretch. It was. I mean, they're kind of giving us crap because we were working with Joseph and Devin and Josh and all them for the part, but in our team chat, we just kind of said, "You want to try something different?" And so we figured we'd give it a shot. And at the end of the day, we couldn't get that fuel pig, like that person, to run out front so we could all save equally. And I was the 3rd car in line, and I was the only one who was able to barely make it. Like, I ran out of fuel at coming to the line on that. It was just a matter of us trying something different because Joseph and Josh are some of the best super speedway racers in this league, if not the best. So it was like, okay, if they're gonna do this, let's try something different to put us in the give us a shot at possibly winning.
Definitely, I noticed every playoff contender, like top 6, stayed out with you. I'm sure that played a factor as well, did it not?
Yeah, it did certainly. I mean, hindsight's 2020. You always kind of wish you went and did the fuel, but I mean, I got a decent result out of it after wrecking in lap 2 last week. So I mean, just plate races, you never know what's gonna happen. So to definitely get like a 4th place finish out of it after trying something different, it was nerve-wracking. I was trying to save as all I could possibly could, and under caution, I was shutting the engine on and off. It was half throttle. Us trying to save just cost us way too much time. We were running like 4 seconds slower than those 3 guys that beat us. So hindsight, it's always 2020. So we each can get the job done to get that win or top 3. But trust me, I'll take a 4th here.
Definitely. Well, again, congratulations on 4th place. We'll let you go if you want to give a quick shout out and get the leader in here.
Yeah, RJ lost his family member, and so we're always here to support him. I'll take a 4th place. Got involved in a decent accident today, so it definitely makes me feel a little bit better getting a 4th place finish out of this track. So
definitely. All right, well, man, thanks for coming in, and we're going to go ahead and bring in our leader, Joseph Lester.
Thank you.
Joseph, congratulations on the win, man. Long time coming here in SNN. How's it feel?
What was that? I just heard it. It just loaded in.
I said, long time coming, man. Your time has come. Good win here at Talladega.
Yeah, thank you. That was insane.
So tell us about the fuel strategy coming in. Were you surprised as the Alliance was kind of surprised? Were you in the same boat, hoping that FFR didn't come in?
Well, FFR was working with us, and they said they were pitting with me. And when I pit, they were like they stayed out. I was wondering why they did that, and it worked out for us in the end. But it was kind of bad at first to realize you got betrayed.
Yeah, a little bit of politicking and strategy coming into play, but you came out on top, got the win here at SNN. Just run us through that last lap, and you had to block up high because I think Devin went under the yellow there. What was going through your head in that last lap?
Well, Josh had messaged me to let him get second, so I knew he wasn't really gonna try and pass me, but he made it look like he was. So, I wasn't too worried, but at the same time, I was worried that Devin might push him by, and it was crazy. I don't know what to say.
Oh, definitely. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations. Go ahead, Liam.
definitely didn't come easy with those blocking moves. We mentioned that you had to move high and then cut down low.
Yeah,
I guess you
I
said you
mean,
didn't really have much concern, but
yeah, I mean, I knew there was a chance that he'd make a move, but me and him had been working together all week, in A Opens and NIS, so I wasn't too worried.
Definitely. Well, you got the dub, got the win here at Talladega. Trying to get the camera right on you, but again, congratulations. Tell us who you want to shout out, who's on the car of that
Um,
beautiful 45 Toyota.
I'd just like to thank the Lord for putting me in this situation to um have a chance to even race, and then I'd like to thank my mom and dad for help helping me get this far along, and my teammate Austin, he got wrecked by Barrett. I mean, don't know what else to say. I mean, he just got dumped, and then yeah, that was just insane.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, Joseph, and I'm sure going to a Roval next week. How do you feel about it?
I can get a top 5. I'm not really looking for a win. More helping my teammate next week.
Definitely. Well, again, congratulations on the win, Joseph. I know it's a long time coming. I'm happy to see you get the dub here in SNN. Big things coming in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so that was your race winner, Joseph Lester. Winning the race here, we're going to go over our grid. We're going to throw that up, and then we're going to bring in RJ Root. Of course, this race, everybody coming in for him, but we're going to go ahead and get the go get the right camera up there and get the grid overall up for you once it decides it wants to. So we got first Joseph Lester, second Josh Ward, third Devin Medeiros, fourth place Ryan Samuelson, Nicholas Breidenbach having a really good showing in fifth, David Love sixth, Matt Gaskin seventh, Robert Nestor eighth, ninth Warren Young, Chris Claude bringing in the top 10, having a very good run for him on points. RJ Root 11th, Joe Stafford 12th, 13th Seba Cornez, 14th Jarrett Phillips, 15th Lorne Jones, and then Charles Eaton there. In 16th, 17th, John Espewalda the third, Steve Dardarius 18th, Randy Spivey 19th, Thomas Neal rounding out your top 20. And that's going to be Kevin Rourke, another playoff driver. Unfortunate for him, but he got some good luck. Brian Tarnowski in 22nd, 23rd, Bennett Allen 24th, Benjamin Harp, and the storyline, Barrett Coffey, unfortunately getting involved in that accident in the, but I think it was the 60th lap.
yeah,
Gonna
roughly
put him,
around lap 60.
yeah, put him in 25th. John Espelado 26th, Tony Burt 27th, 28th, Cody Strum, Jeff O'Rourke 29th, and the worst luck of the night. Very unfortunate for Austin Story coming to try and get a win in the Roval next week to help him out in the playoffs. Chad Sander 31st, 32nd, Dave Regal, and Derek Jacobs in 33rd. So let's go ahead and bring in RJ Root. RJ, the 3 white salute for you. I appreciate you stepping in here, and I'm very sorry for your loss, brother. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your grandfather and what he means to you?
My grandfather was very very involved in my life. Like going up through school, I did bowling tournaments, and he made it to pretty much every single one of them that he could make it to. And every time that I go up and see them, we go fishing, and it's just he meant the world to me. And this last week and a half has been really hard, but luckily I've had an amazing group of guys over here at Sunday Night NASCAR. Um, all of my guys over at FFR have been very supportive. It's just it's been hard, but it's also been relatively easy having such a great support group.
Definitely, man. Well, again, our thoughts are with you, and we care about you here as well, and we're glad these guys can do it for you, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, anyways, RJ Root, on to the next one. You had a good finish, brother, and hopefully we can carry it into the next week. Is there anything more you want to say?
Just be ready for the Roval, because
Works.
it's going to be a walk again.
Good deal, man. Good deal. I'm excited to see you coming in there. I know the points finish helps you out. And again, this race is in loving memory, of course, of Buddy Wallclimber. And we appreciate you, RJ, coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, thoughts and prayers.
And there we go, folks. That's going to end it for us. Liam, tell us what you thought about the race, and if you got any notes at the end of it.
Well, I mean, it certainly lived up to the intensity. It just didn't end up being, kind of the calamity that we saw in, let's say, the trucks or Xfinity yesterday. We saw a lot of different strategies playing out throughout the course of the race. Some undercuts trying to happen in the first run, and outside of that lap 60 incident, we had a couple of close calls off the pits and getting onto the pits. But outside of that lap 60 incident, it was a super, super clean race from these guys, which is always nice to see at a super speedway. You don't like to see them all getting wadded up, and you know how cautions breed cautions. So I don't know. I thought this race delivered in intensity. The strategy play totally threw it for a loop, but it brings in a different experience than you're used to seeing at Talladega, and I really thought that made it a lot of fun.
Definitely, me too, as well as really good to see Joseph Lester take away the win here at Sunday Night NASCAR. That's been so elusive for a very good young driver here. So that's going to send it off for us, folks. We appreciate you showing up, and as well, guys, I said it before, but we're almost out of this thing. Everybody's just got to not get complacent, and we can work it through here. And all those lost to COVID, or our thoughts and prayers are with those families, and especially with RJ Root, as his family's going through the massive loss in their life of Buddy Green. But that's going to do it for us here, folks. As always, I will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.